All right, round two. Keep going, Mima.
Um,
What sayest thou?
but I think that another thing too is that there is an unfortunate thing of how we have graded and rated
Mm-hmm.
sins,
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, so like we can just easily pinpoint those outward things and say, um, smoking or alcohol or um, things like that, or you start to see a single woman's belly get bigger, and
Mm-hmm.
you know what happened, but then so we can praise a pastor or other ministry people that don't do those outward things, but they gossip and lie and control and manipulate
Right.
and everything like that, and slander and hurt people, and those are equally just as bad. And then also, we want to cut off people who do certain sins, but then we not only embrace, but a lot of churches push gluttony as something acceptable and good,
Mm-hmm.
and they laugh and make jokes about it, when it is condemned in Scripture right along with alcoholism.
Yep.
And so, but we've got it in our mind that certain things are okay
Mm-hmm.
and certain things aren't, when the Bible is very clear on all of it together. And just, I think that you brought up an excellent point about like the addiction is just a symptom to the problem, and we are all addicted to something.
Mm-hmm.
We all have a struggle with something,
Mm-hmm.
and
People
just
think because it's their phone screen
right,
that they're good. You
right,
know, they're holy and acceptable in God's eyes, and you're not
right, right,
because you bought your addiction at the gas station and they
right.
got it in their pocket.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And just that we're so quick to justify our own shortcomings,
Mm-hmm.
but then condemn other people for theirs, and that's definitely something that we need to change, and to have that grace for other people, and to also have that grace for ourselves, because in the end, we rise and fall before God,
Mm-hmm.
not the pastor or anybody else,
Mm-hmm.
and that should be our goal and our aim, to please is God alone,
Mm-hmm.
and to seek His face and His opinion, for things that we do, um, and so. But that's all
Right. Do you remember the analogy I made of how explaining how sin doesn't scare God away from us, even though He hates sin?
I got.
And I said I hate onions. Not I don't hate onions as much as God hates sin, but I hate onions. And if I saw my daughter choking on onions,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't run away going, "Ew, onions." Oh my gosh! You freak out. You do whatever you can, right?
Right, right.
So an addiction's like a snake. I hate snakes.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's a snake by my daughter, I don't run away from her. I run towards her. So your addiction doesn't.
Right.
You got to break that out of your head. You got to stop believing that. You got to stop telling yourself that your addiction is like some dark veil that hides you from God. It's
Yeah.
it's addiction is gross. It sucks. It's hard. It's messy. It's dark. It is, but it doesn't hinder God.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible says that no angel or principality could separate us from God's love. Do you think that there's not angels out there way stronger than any demon
Mm-hmm.
egging on your addiction? So
Right.
it's not like that.
Yeah.
My sweet precious William, havest thou
Yes.
anything to say?
Well, yeah, I was gonna wait till you were done like going live though. I relate to that because I was a bad kid though. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Like when I was 12, I was told a devil worshiper, man. But honestly, I understand the addiction. I used to masturbate 6 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, dude, I'd be in school and like I'd get hall passes to go to the bathroom,
Mm-hmm.
just well, so I wasn't around sporting Woody. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
I mean, because I would, I had such testosterone rage that I'd be,
Mm-hmm.
checking out the chicks in class and running
Mm-hmm.
around, just bluntly, I mean, obviously,
Right.
I don't know what I'm talking about. I mean, I was freaking raging boner, and I didn't want that to be in class, so I'd go take care of that problem. I mean, I
Right.
literally used to masturbate 6 times a day from like, 12, 14, like
Right.
thing. I had massive testosterone.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. So and I think what really makes masturbation a sin, it's what you're thinking about
Right.
Yeah.
whilst you're masturbating.
Right.
That's where the sin's at. It's what you're thinking about. It's not.
Right.
I don't think it's so much the act of masturbating. It's your thoughts during
Right.
is where the sin is.
Right.
But anyway, I'll shut up now that I've done. And
No, you're good.
You're gonna.
You're good.
Yeah.
No, I think this is what happens though, is that a kid your age gets to that age and there's all this stuff flying around in your head and you don't know what
Yep.
anything is because no one talks about it and no one teaches
Right.
you because it's
Right.
so gross and you don't talk about that. My precious son would never. And and you're not taught how to handle the feelings and how to handle the addiction and anything. And this is like it's insane how there's sex ed classes in school.
But
And
not in the
what are you
church.
teaching?
Right.
How to put
right.
on a condom, but you're not teaching how to,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah, they're more like teaching you how to have sex rather than
Right.
how to
Right.
not have sex, to reframe. But I'm serious, dude. I mean, I was just, I'm not making light of it at all. I mean,
right,
but no, I've openly admitted all that stuff, man. But I seriously would, I would literally, man, I was masturbating 6 times a day, and I know when I told him that, he's like, man, that's not normal. And I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I was horny every time you turn around. I mean,
mm-hmm.
the lack of a better term, you know what I mean?
Right.
Right.
And I just didn't want to be running around. You obviously can't be walking through school with the
right,
pup tenting. You know what I mean?
right,
So I had to go take care of that problem.
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, that's
But
the
again,
problem is that people
now I
don't
was
talk about
totally evil kid then, no, too, man. I mean, because it wasn't until I was almost 16 I turned around and totally repented. And I mean, I was a straight up devil worshiper
it. Mm-hmm.
during those times.
Right,
I was a very satanic individual.
right.
Anyway.
But
Emily?
but yeah, they're there borderline needs to be classes in church that talk about
Oh yeah.
like you need to call it uncomfortable class and you need
And it really actually comes back to your thoughts. It's what you're
Yeah.
thinking about whilst.
right,
Yeah.
Obviously, it's fornication or,
Yeah.
it's fornication anyway you look at it.
right,
Because you're not married. And then obviously, if you are married, I mean, are you thinking about your wife, if you know what I mean? So
Right.
that, you know what I'm saying?
right,
Because that's a whole other thing itself there as far as like adultery. Then you're over fantasizing about
Yeah.
somebody other than your wife whilst you're masturbating kind of thing. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Mhm.
So that's even a whole
Yeah.
I think that-
whole new dimension of depravity. You know what I mean?
right.
Right.
I think that even if you somehow figured out a way to masturbate without lusting, I think it's still wrong.
Yeah.
Because you are self gratifying. It's very like a prideful like sexual release is found in marriage from your spouse. That's the way God created it.
Yeah.
So if you're taking care of it yourself, that's kind of wrong, I feel. Even if you somehow manage to
you
not
know,
lust at all.
Here's kind of my thing on that though. Honestly, now if you have completely learned to utterly control it, I mean, what's the? I mean, there's no sense in ever getting married. I mean, you know what I mean?
Right. But I think, I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah, it is.
I've been single for 24 years. I really
Right.
don't even. I'm at the point I really don't care. Don't even want.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
I don't want to deal with them.
Yeah.
Remember that crazy to hot?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I know I'm going
But-
a
No.
little bit off the subject matter there, but
But yeah, Emily, do you have something you want to add?
A few years ago, my church did a program with the guys about this actual subject of masturbation and fornication.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing that I wonder, why is it that they only singled out the guys.
Preach.
Yeah, my sister gonna start preaching now.
And I just, because, like, we're all human and we all have those different hormones and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Just because women don't have testosterone doesn't mean that they don't have lustful thoughts and pride and wanting to gratify whatever sinful desires that they have.
Mm-hmm.
But I really liked how you said, like, the addiction is more of a symptom, not an actual disease. That the disease more is like being unloved and
Mm-hmm.
not feeling accepted or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just crazy how they think that everybody can be so pious. But yet we're all, like, the reason why you come to church is because it's supposed to be a hospital, not a museum.
Right. We all fall short.
Right.
Yeah.
But you fall short differently than me, so I'm better. And you don't belong here. But yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just feel like it's just kind of, it was kind of just like I understand, like, the guys have a higher rate of addiction to porn and masturbation and stuff, but like the women aren't thoughtless, you know.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, that's that's part of that whole thing my mom was talking about, how like ranking sins, like, and then in the journey of ranking sins, you started gender assigning them too. Like, I've known men with shopping addictions, and you wouldn't like, yeah, shopping addiction, that's like a woman thing, ha ha ha. I've known men addicted to, so it's not, addictions aren't gender specific.
Right.
I do like spending money.
Yeah, me too, bud. But
yeah, it's just but
Even if
it's
you're
good that
shopping
you
alone.
were able to decipher between having like the cough and having the cold,
right.
and knowing that God is not just treating the cough, but He's treating the cold, and that it takes a while when you get sick, because sometimes your sore throat will alleviate, but you still have a fever.
Right.
That's
excellent. And you
excellent.
still need to address each thing one by one, you know?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is what I experienced was the brokenness inside me was actively getting worse, and I was fighting my addictions. Like, why am I not getting better? Why can't I overcome this? Why isn't God fixing this? But like, while I'm, one of my addictions was to self-harm. So while I'm trying to not self-harm, I'm just getting bombarded with reasons to believe that I'm worthless. Right. So it's just feeding it,
Mm-hmm.
And you don't, if no one teaches you, you don't realize that the addiction you have isn't the problem. There's something else bigger, right, way more serious and more important going on inside you,
right,
that needs to be addressed. And then the addiction will fall off. Like a cough, you stop coughing when your cold goes away.
Right.
But it was good that you re-emphasized about like the core beliefs that we have about ourselves,
mm-hmm,
and that is more of the thing that God is running to fix.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Not just the symptoms of it, like the masturbation and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
I feel like fighting an addiction is so exhausting that you can get so distracted with fighting the outer.
Right.
And then it's time to work on the inside thing, the thing that's actually the problem. You're like, bro, I'm cooked, I'm tired. I've been trying to push these images of boobies out of my head, and I've been trying to not give into trying to leave that pack of cigarettes away, and trying to keep that bottle closed, and then by the time it's time, all right, well, God's like comes along and says, all right, well, now it's time to love yourself a little bit, buddy. You're like, I'm tired, I'm going to bed.
Right.
I don't have time to love myself. I'm trying to fight this addiction. It's like, you goofball. It's
Yeah.
you know.
And I think that's why so many rehab programs don't work, because they just want to get the person off drugs.
Yep.
And they just want to get the person off alcohol.
Right.
When you don't address and deal with why are they doing that in the first place.
Right.
You know.
So then 21 days later, or whatever the heck, 3 weeks, a month later, they walk out the front door and they still hate themselves and they still think they're a waste.
And
then
they relapse a lot of times.
And then, wow, how'd that happen? You know.
Right.
This
Yep.
is-
Yeah. Thank you.
But yeah, I hope this helps. Maybe next week won't be so uncomfortable. Maybe it'll be more uncomfortable. I don't know what I'm talking about next week. God will tell me. But thank you all for listening. Let thy garments always be white, and kiss thy homies goodnight. And drink some water. It's important to stay hydrated. All right. Bye-bye.